one and all. Welcome to Martlet Games and the finale of Ghoul's Night, a 3-part all-Ghoul mini-chronicle. I am Zachary Vaudo, your host for the evening, your storyteller. Let's go around and we'll introduce all of our guests, all of our players, starting with Mac, Prince.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, also known as Dimples and Dice around the internet, and I am playing Mac J. Phillips, who is destined to die at this point. I'm pretty sure. But it's okay. Like, I'm okay with it. Mac is totally not. Anyway, both of our pronouns are he, him, and good luck to me.
And we'll move over to Nathaniel, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. I'm playing Nathaniel Weston, and I think Nathaniel will only settle for embraced or dead at this point. So I'll join you on either of those bandwagons.
Now to Cersei, Ty.
Hello, my name is Ty. You can find me at Hey Tyler Gray on all social media platforms. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Cersei Williams.
And now over to the moving Teddy, Lex.
Hi, I'm Lex. I play Teddy, and I am definitely going to outlive everyone here.
And lastly, our special guest, Sara Rieger. Sara?
Hey, my name is Sara. I'll be playing Marissa Navarro.
I'd like to remind everybody in the audience that this is a World of Darkness game. That means dark content is always on the table. There may be uncomfortable and unsettling themes and activities throughout the show. Nothing is guaranteed. Everything is probable. If anything becomes too much for you, we simply ask that you step away, pause the video, come back later, watch it on YouTube. It will be there for your enjoyment. It's always for your enjoyment. It's for your entertainment, as dark as it may be. If all my players are ready, for the last time, we will step into the sunrise. Ghouls are often overlooked in vampire society. Occupying the bottom rung of the ladder, they're considered lesser, weaker, and sometimes disposable. But these bridges to both the daylight hours and to modern society are entirely necessary for kindred to thrive, especially the older ones. With the right move, or the wrong failing, they can make or break a vampire's entire unlife. Things have gone from bad to worse for our group of ghouls. After a night of searching for the kindred that identified Mac's domitor, Shanna, they found themselves at a derelict warehouse, where their target resided with 2 other kindred companions. While not able to make much of a physical stance against the kindred, our ghouls used their wits and quick thinking to turn the tide in their favor, making a good bit of noise in the process. Celebrations were cut short, though, as police arrived on the scene in full force, bringing the remaining kindred and our ghouls into custody. Mac's domitor managed to hide herself from the fray, while a kindred that Mac had dropped the ceiling on top of smashed through a wall to freedom. We pick up at a nearby police precinct. Our ghouls have been sequestered into a holding room where they share the space with drunks and miscreants. They have been here all night into the day. It's mid-afternoon now. Police have done initial questioning for processing. They've been fingerprinted, and now they sit 14 hours in custody. But first, down the hall from this scene is another. 2 individuals, one dressed for business, one in a leather jacket, walking side by side, reviewing folders as they walk. They stand out from the other officers and detectives of the precinct. There is an air of federal and formality to them. One turns to the other and goes, I mean, this looks kind of open and shut, if you ask me, right?
Yeah, I mean, just look at all this. I mean, more careless than usual.
Well, we can't expect them all to be tight-lipped and not sloppy. It's a bit shocking. Not much, just a little bit.
Yeah,
Just have to
some of
keep
the
things interesting.
circumstances. Yeah, the circumstances are a little different than normal. I'm not really complaining though, because shit gets boring after a while. I do hope this doesn't take that long though, because like I got my kid sister's basketball game like right after this. She's gonna kill me if I'm not there. So hopefully just get them talking.
We'll do what we can. How you want to do this? You want to good cop, bad cop this? You want to split the field?
We should probably split it up. I mean, you know I can't do fucking good cop.
That's true. It gets old after a bit anyway. Okay, yeah. Yeah. You take 2, I'll take 2. And we'll
All right.
We'll see how it goes.
Go with God.
Be across the hall if you need me.
Same.
They fork off into different interrogation rooms. Meanwhile, our 4 ghouls are sitting 14 hours into holding.
How much longer is this going to take? I've got a lot to catch up on at the museum, and
Can only hold us 48 hours before they charge us.
48? And what are they charging us with? I mean, yeah, trespassing, maybe.
We weren't given any details on our arrest, so, and Nathaniel, meanwhile, has been more or less sleeping this whole time, sitting in a chair, nurse napping. They haven't said officially what they're charging us with, and they just stuffed us in a box. I'm not sure it's a due process question at this point. We'll see.
I'm just thinking they don't really have anything on us, and so they're trying to like hope that they can find something about what happened. And just because a building fell on someone doesn't mean it's my fault.
I mean, it's a rickety old building. It was bound to fall on anybody.
Right.
By the
Exactly.
way, ears and eyes, just careful what you say.
I like turtles.
And then he goes back to sleep.
After a few moments, 2 officers enter, looking down at their sheets. We need Mac Phillips and Cersei Williams. They look around.
Cersei gets up and walks over.
Phillips?
I don't know anybody by that name.
Thank you for identifying yourself. Come on.
I get up.
Good luck.
The officers lead you 2 out, down the hall, and into 2 separate rooms. Cersei into one, and Mac into the other. Mac, when you enter, it's a very standard empty room. Pretty bare walls, small table, 1 chair, 1 chair. The table has one of those little notches where handcuffs might go. As you are not in handcuffs, that's not something to worry about at the moment. It doesn't look like it does on TV. There's not a big window where somebody might be watching you through the other side. There's not a coffee waiting for you on the table. There's just a woman in a leather jacket with a file folder in front of her.
Hi.
Hello. My name is Agent Navarro. Rough night, huh?
Yeah. You got some
Yeah,
water. My
yeah.
mouth gets real dry in these situations. And my tongue occasionally gets stuck to the top of my mouth. I think that's my anti-anxiety drug sometimes that does this to me. And I'm hoping that you can help me.
I guess. And she opens the door just briefly and is like, hey, can I get some water, please, in here?
And the officer posted outside, walks down the hall.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get that for you. And she kind of is still standing, kind of crossing her arms. And she's like, you want to tell me what happened, Mac? What happened tonight?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. I mean, seem kind of scary, so I can understand why you wouldn't want to talk about it. But you have talked other times. Pretty loudly, in fact, around the city with your friends, hanging out.
You the NSA?
NSA? No.
Okay, then you must be Facebook. Because they always listen. That's what I heard. And I just engineer like waterways and stuff like that. So Facebook and Instagram, they always know what I'm thinking of. Like I looked up one Kickstarter one time and they showed me a bunch of board games. And I was like, how do y'all know?
Yeah, those anything you're carrying around, it's always listening to you. For sure. But that's not the only way that we can listen in. And listen, I'm just a cop, okay? Like, that's it. And I've got shit to do. So
wait, you just a cop? Do you not have like friends or family? Like, are you a drinker? Do you play video games? Do you like Wordle?
This is not about me. It doesn't matter.
Well,
hopefully
it just seems
you'll
like
never
very
have to
lonely.
see me again after tonight.
Yes, that would be my hope. I don't know,
Right.
really know why I'm here.
So let's not waste our time then. We saw you at the hospital. And there was
Which one?
a woman with you.
Yeah,
Storyteller, the
I
name
got
of the hospital.
Yeah,
a lot of women friends.
You give the name of the hospital.
Okay. Right. Sure. Good looking kid like you, but
Oh, you think
There
I'm
was-
good looking? I appreciate that. Can we get a selfie?
no, absolutely not. Okay, so which one of your lady friends was it then?
I don't know. Do you have like a description of her? Like, was she drinking soup? Because I know one of my girls really loves ramen.
You often go to a hospital with your lady friend? Seems like a weird spot for a date, man.
You know, I feel like you might be kink shaming because like some people are really into suffering.
I mean, okay. The woman, she had like a flowery headband. She's nervous looking.
Oh, that one. What about her?
Well, we're just trying to get the big picture on what all was going on with all of you. So that's just one part of this thing that we're trying to figure out, okay? And if you help me, this can go quickly and you won't have to spend any more time in that stinky fucking holding room.
Yeah, it smells like hot ass and like potato chips. Like barbecue?
Yeah, I put like Vicks under my nose when I have to go there because it's a trick I learned from the medical examiner.
Oh, so you've been to hospitals before too. You are into that sort of thing. I see you, Navarro.
You know what? Shut the fuck up, you dumbass. That is so inappropriate. First of all, we're not talking about any of that shit. You can try to dodge and evade and ask me questions about my personal life and, oh, am I lonely? And, oh, do I fall asleep next to a bottle of Jack? And, oh. That's not relevant.
I didn't say anything about that. You fall asleep next to a bottle of Jack?
No.
I fell asleep next to a bottle of Jack before too.
God, how do these other motherfuckers stand you? God, okay. So you
Why
don't
are you
know,
hurting my feelings like
you
this?
don't know the woman that was next to you. You don't know the woman that you were with at the hospital in the flowery headband. You don't have any remembrance of who that was.
No. Maybe? No. Nope. Definitely not.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Do you know who it was? I mean,
What?
you know about my conversations and stuff, so I just figured you might know everything about me. Like even what I do in my drunken hazes.
And she kind of like leans forward onto the table and puts her hands on the table and she's like, yeah, how are Ed, Tommy, David, how they doing?
And I think at this point, I think Mac would be like cloud memory. Yeah, I think this is a cloud memory time. You talk about my peoples.
Okay.
So Mac, what do you say to Cloud Agent Navarro's memory?
They're all doing fine, and only thing I know is I am a very, very good Ike main in Smash Brothers. That's the only thing I'm good at.
And Agent Navarro, how do you respond?
She looks right at him for a second. Just right in the eye, just lingering, letting moments pass. Tick, tick, tick. You know that shit won't work on me, right? Do you think, I know some of your friends, they're fathers, right? They've got kids. Do you think you're going to be let around their kids if they know what you are?
Wait, you know what I am?
How would you
Wait, then you're like
yourself? Me? No, I'm not. I would never, could never be me.
Oh, so you're not a lover boy like Drake.
Drake's just repackaging what Michael Jackson already did. Let's be real.
No, that's The Weeknd. You're mixing people up now. That's both OVO. Listen, agent, doctor, police person, Navarro. I was in the building that fell on me. I think I have brain damage. And my toes are hurting real bad because some rocks fell on them.
I don't know what to tell about
you.
Your feet. Your pupils are not dilated. You have no sort of concussion. You're fine. And I know
you're a doctor? Fine. Can I see a doctor or a lawyer? One of them two can help me.
Well, we all know you have the little advantage. You mend up a little quicker, right? You don't need a doctor. You'll be fine. You're going to stay here with me for just a little bit longer.
Can I at least have a hug?
And Navarro takes like a full step back. And she like fiddles with something with her in her jacket pocket. And she says, you couldn't pay me to touch one of you, any of them. Disgusting.
Is somebody recording this? Because I feel like this is a civil suit for some racism stuff.
You know that's not what this is about.
Oh, it could be now. I have studied stuff. I went to college for a lot of years. I have a master's.
But still here you sit in front of me, wasting my time.
How am I wasting your time? You have me here. You're asking me questions about a person that I don't know.
Just don't know her at all. Wow, what a stable you must have to not even remember her name. You know that all your little friends, all of you together in your weird little group, they're all gonna turn on you, right? You're the weak link. They're gonna sell you out so fast.
Link saved Hyrule. I'm just saying.
Who is Link?
Really? You never play Legend of Zelda? You need to get cultured, Agent Navarro.
Video games aren't culture. Go to the ballet.
I've been to ballet. They're very flexible there. But that's like how they did Dead or Alive. She kicks high. That's where the commercial came from, ballet.
Okay, let's do this. Why the woman that you don't know? Why were you seen leaving her home with her before the hospital then?
So you are stalking me.
It's all part of the surveillance that we're all now under.
So you do work for the NSA. Holy shit. She is a book vendor, and she had this old copy of Lord of the Rings that I really wanted to get, and I got it. It was second edition.
Just a purveyor
Tom
of fine
Bombadil
goods.
Has like some lines in that version that are not in the rest of the books.
Yeah, so okay, then you'd probably be able to help me with a couple of these things, like some words that I've been hearing. What about salubri?
What's the salubri?
I thought you might know.
That's not in Lord of the Rings or in Super Smash Brothers.
What about Domitor then? Kind of a fancy one.
Kinky. Is that what you're into?
I believe those are known as dominants, not domitors.
Listen, I've heard Lady Dimitrescu be called a whole bunch of names.
I don't know who that is. What about
I told
Ghoul?
you are lacking culture, Agent Navarro, police person Navarro.
So why don't you help me? I'm trying to learn here. What about
I just
Ghoul?
told you a bunch of things and you disrespected my knowledge.
Because I know you're not giving me the whole story. Like, I don't know why you trying to pull one over on me. I'm not stupid. This isn't my first rodeo.
When I was born back in 1988.
Oh my God. Fast forward. No. We're not doing that.
Well, you said I wasn't giving you the whole story. Wait, that wasn't 88. Shit. Anyway, the whole story starts when I started engineering college, and then I joined my engineering fraternity, Triangle. And,
Okay.
You think in engineering college that you can't find a lot of companionship.
Okay.
But like,
okay. So the woman you were with, the book vendor, she's not safe, right?
Does she have HPV?
Meaning her life could easily be in danger.
I drive.
You drive?
Yeah. People are in accidents every day, and they don't walk away from them.
That's not the danger I'm speaking of. Is more intentional and less accidental.
So she's gonna murder me?
No, she herself, her safety is not guaranteed. While we're
so
putting
you want to
this
protect
picture
her
together.
She's very pretty. Like, I could think
I would like to
of a lot of people
him in
who
the face.
Okay, please roll a strength and brawl.
Great.
Mac, are you dodging or are you taking this?
No, Mac is not even paying attention to think that a smack is coming. So he's just trying to like talk in circles, essentially.
Okay.
That's 3 for me.
Okay, so if you're not resisting, then you're going to take if it's actually no, it's not halved. You're going to take 2 superficial damage, and in the middle of your circular talking, you're cut off by a hand straight across your face. Hard.
Oh,
listen.
I do have resilience, so that's going to do a little bit less damage.
Okay, yeah. So that'll probably put it down to about 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the way this would play out is Mac. He looks like he got hit harder than he did, but it doesn't leave much of a mark. It's kind of like
this is your last chance. Let me help you, or all the little pieces of your weird little flunky life are going to get crushed during this investigation. Do you understand that? The things and the people that you love, that you care about, they are affected by your bullshittery right now. So make your choice.
Professor Navarro, I want to have a bathroom break because you smacked me very hard, and well, you hit like a bitch.
You can't have a bathroom break. We're not done here.
I got nothing else to say to you.
Oh, sorry. And with that, we'll move across the hall. Cersei Williams has been let into a room. It's a very similar room as described to Mac, except instead of a leather jacket-clad woman, there's a man in a vest and tie, already sitting at the table. Yes, Miss Williams, please, come sit.
They'll sit down.
He just opens the file, folder is flipping, and he just waves to the officer, closes the door. Miss Cersei Williams, could you please tell us what brought you to the scene of the incident where you were discovered?
Am I being charged with something?
Not yet. That will depend on the answers to your question. What brought you to the scene that we discovered you in?
Right, but this is like how people, officers get people to talk before they have legal counsel, which I have a right to, correct?
Debatable. What brought you to the scene of the incident where you were discovered?
Yeah, that doesn't... I'm really sorry. I'm kind of an avid TV watcher. I've seen a lot of Law and Order and SVU. And I do know that I am,
Ms. Williams, I can state off the bat that you will absolutely be charged with trespassing and quite possibly endangerment, given the state of the warehouse that we found all of you in. If there's any cause to believe that you may have been the reason why they were in there, then it's endangerment towards others. And that's just the start of things. It would go a lot easier if you decided to answer questions.
Well, I'm sure you'd love that, but I do think I'm required legal counsel.
You would think that. Just continuing to flip through the folder. It's funny. We surprisingly don't have a lot of information on you. We have your work at the museum, name, place of residence, your personal possessions that you brought in, and that's honestly about it.
And so that makes you believe I'd have anything to do with this?
No, it's just surprising. But honestly, that's fine. We're a bit more interested in your friends than you.
Okay, then talk to them.
I'd rather talk to you. I'd rather talk to you about your time that you spent with your friends.
We have a few drinks.
You do have a few drinks. With very poor volume control. Would you mind explaining the context of the word ghoul in your conversations?
Like Halloween?
It's not Halloween, Miss Williams.
Yeah, obviously. That's why I'm kind of confused.
How about Domitor?
Is that a sex thing?
It's not a sex thing.
Oh.
How about salubri?
Is that Latin? I didn't take Latin. Sorry.
How about praise Cain?
Cain.
You do realize that phone records are searchable, yes?
By legal means, yes. Did you have a warrant for that? I mean, you do realize you are a professional, right? Like anything you think that you
I do.
You had a warrant.
I'm afraid you're the one not realizing I exist, Miss Williams, in a bit of a, we'll call it a gray area, much like you, where operate in between. That means that myself, my partner, and my organization are allowed certain privileges, much like you are allowed certain privileges with those that you consort with. Unfortunately, as our paths have crossed here, my privileges begin to outweigh yours. I'd like to state again, Ms. Williams, these words that I asked you about come from the far too loud conversation that you and your friends engage with over these drinks have been heard upon telephone wiretapping, which I will freely admit to in your case. And the list does continue. Any information that you want to share would be considered valuable and favorable towards my organization turning a blind eye towards somebody with no real record as yourself. As I said, we are a bit more interested in your friends, if you'd like to cooperate.
I would like a lawyer.
You can't have one.
Okay, well then I have nothing to say. You are interested in my friends. Talk to them. And if you have all of these conversations that you've apparently overheard, then you've heard them. Okay?
He pulls out your phone and places it on the table in front of you. You know, it's the most interesting thing. And he unlocks your phone and pushes play on a video that he's pulled up. And it's a shaky video of Mac attempting to pull Shanna off of the neck of another man in the warehouse, blood running down the neck. You say that there's not a whole lot that you want to say, but you are very clearly at the scene in not favorable circumstances. I would like for you to be helpful. I would like to do you this favor. I would like to not do this the way that I'm sure my partner would rather we do. So I ask once again, what brought you to the scene of the incident where you were discovered, Miss Williams?
I'm sorry, I really wish I could be more helpful. If I answer a question, can you answer one of mine?
Yes.
I asked first.
Oh, I've already asked you a question, so please answer.
This gray area department of yours, what is it concerning? Clearly, you're not one of the NSA, FBI, or something, a faction of?
We're related. And Miss Williams, it does you a disservice to play this stupid. I know that you know what I'm talking about. I know that you know the words that I've stated. They've been heard and documented from those that you've kept company with. I think you know who I am. I think you know the offer that I'm making you.
I really don't. If you gave me more information, maybe. But all you've done is make accusations and deny me legal counsel.
Those who consort with the undead fall outside of legal counsel, Miss Williams. Such as yourself.
Whatever that means, I am a United States citizen.
I don't think I need to tell you that doesn't tend to mean much in this sort of circumstance.
What sort of circumstance?
Miss Williams, I'd like to tell you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take this phone. It taps on your phone with its contacts. And I'm going to dedicate my time to locating every contact that is in here. I'm going to personally visit each and every one of them. And indiscriminate of who they are, I'm going to subject them to much worse than I'm offering you right now. The alternative is a modicum of cooperation on your part. This is a very rare offer from my organization. We find ourselves in a unique situation of opportunity, and one that can be beneficial to you. If you'd like to cooperate.
Maybe if I had more information.
Miss Williams, you and your 3 friends have been documented speaking of your domitors and known undead organizations. In public, you have also been followed to the home of an unidentified woman, to the hospital with said unidentified woman, where you engaged in some questionable activity in the security office, and then followed to the warehouse where you were discovered following a massive seismic activity with no explosives found on the scene.
And you think we did that?
No, I think that possibly the 2 that we have taken, apart from your friends, did that. They're not getting the offer that you got. They're transported immediately.
I mean, don't you think it'd be a little wise to ask them questions?
We probably will when we take the stakes out of their chest. They won't like it very much, though. I ask you once more. Would you like to cooperate given the information presented to you? Because that is enough information to recommend a transfer of your own to my organization, and I can fast track that in the next 24 hours.
Does the gray area mean you're not working for either side?
The gray area means I'm not answering to either side, Miss Williams.
If I could answer one question of yours, very important question, what would you like it to be?
Just one. The house that you and your friends visited between the hospital and the warehouse. Could you please describe the interior and the number of people that you saw in that house?
Real quick, is he talking about
Nathaniel's Domitor.
Oh, okay. It was an old house. There wasn't really a lot of people besides us.
Who did you see? Go ahead and describe the people that you did see.
Us. The owner of the property. Genuinely can't remember if that was like the party going on or if it was just us. I think it was just us, right?
It was the group of you, Nathaniel's Domitor, and there was one individual that sort of like quaked through. You didn't see who was in his office.
Oh. I believe an assistant of some kind.
Go into a bit of detail about the owner if you don't mind. Did you get a name?
Briefly. No, actually. And I'm being honest. And if I did kind of just get pummeled with some debris of a building. So.
You seem durable. Is there any information about the owner of the house that you feel is pertinent to this discussion?
Considering I have nothing to do with him, the only information I can think of is, like everyone we work for, they've got their own motives. And I don't work for him, so I don't know those.
Very fair. Do you know his affiliation? I believe your type call it clan.
No. Actually, I am not really sure of anyone's. I don't think I'm very welcome amongst them.
I was going to comment that you're a bit of an odd one in the group, not just in the fact that we've heard you say words that we haven't heard them say. Personality-wise, how do you factor into this? If you don't mind a second question. Once again, any information you wish to share will be favorable towards us sweeping this bit aside.
I was brought onto this job unwillingly and told that there are others with like jobs, and we get together and commiserate.
Did you start to commiserate with these like-minded, like-jobbed people of your own accord, or was this part of your unwillingness?
Part of the unwillingness, I would say, but it hasn't been all bad.
Are you still unwilling?
I don't know. In a way, I mean, if I say no to anything, there are consequences. I'm kept in the dark about a lot, unlike the others. So the information I have is limited, and then the information I get, while it is for a purpose, it also helps me understand what I got into.
He sits and he ponders on it for just a moment. So, Williams, I'd like to make you a secondary offer. Once again, not one that we typically offer, but It's an approach I've been wanting to try for a bit. Would you like a way out? We have the resources for that. You can be kept very safe and very off the record.
Off the record isn't exactly something I'd like to do career-wise. I very much would like to curate my own museum one day.
That could be arranged. We happen to have a line on a variety of antiquities that come into our possession through meetings such as this.
You know who I work for?
That would be the price of the way out. Miss Williams, the name and location of who you work for. Were you willing to offer it, we could dedicate our resources to making sure that you are far out of the line of fire. We're very good at it.
I have no clue what you'd be dealing with. You don't know their reach. And as far as I know, they are ruthless, and much more so, or at least in less charming ways than the others.
Tell me, Miss Williams, were you employed, if we're going to keep coding it, in 2008?
This takes place like now, right?
Yes.
No, I was too young.
We're very aware of their reach and their ruthlessness. And we've handled them once before. We are the reason they are at the state they are now. As I said, we are very good at our jobs.
Who are you?
I am Agent Benjamin Prescott. My division is called Epsilon. We are a special intelligence and tactical organization of what your employer might colloquially refer to as the Second Inquisition. And I am giving you this one-time offer for the name and location of the one that brought you into this in exchange to get you out of it. You've already been compromised, given this circumstance, and even if you do walk out of here today, it's probably not going to sit well with them. So how can I help you, Miss Williams?
Cersei just sits there for a moment. The others aren't friends per se, but I don't want anything bad to happen to them.
You start giving up names, and I can make allowances.
What little information I have about their goings on, I will not give you. But they're called the Shadow Kings. And my dominator is named Lydia. And that's all I know. I have as little correspondence with her as she allows. As far as I know, she uses a burner and meets me outside of the Haven.
Thank you, Miss Williams. I'm going to pass you off to an associate to see what more information we can pull, perhaps a visual of this Lydia.
They will kill me if they find out.
Then I suggest during the facial sketch, you think very hard about what more information you know, or how you'd like to find it. As I said, any information that you want to share will be valued and favorable.
You promised me a way out, and you promised me protection. I expect it. And maybe I'll remember a little bit more.
Unlike those of your world, we value our word. It's what makes us human. And with that, we're going to go to a break. Let our players hydrate. We'll come back with some more interrogations. See you soon. Welcome back. Where last we left, our 4 ghouls were in a police precinct, slowly being interrogated by 2 not police officers. It's been going a variety of ways, but we're only halfway there. Teddy, Nathaniel, Mac, and Cersei have not yet returned to the holding area. But eventually, that same officer from before with the clipboard comes in and goes, Nathaniel Weston and Theodora Abbott. Come with me, please. You 2 are walked down the hall, and you are sent to different rooms. Teddy goes into one room down the hall, and the door is open for Nathaniel into Agent Navarro's room.
Daniel sits down.
Before Navarro fully enters the room, she rips a huge fat cloud on this vape, this nicotine vape. She knows she's not supposed to in the precinct, but she just does it anyway, blows a huge cloud out, tucks the vape in her jacket and walks in. She's flipping through the folder very quickly, and as soon as she lays eyes on Nathaniel, her face transforms into a look of pure disgust. Nathaniel Weston.
Do I smell blueberries? Come on in, have a seat. I get the sense this isn't your interrogation room any more than it's mine, so have a seat.
I'll stand.
All right. Your prerogative, agent.
Right. I'm Agent Navarro. But you know the score, right? Let's not waste each other's time. I've had a lot of my time wasted this evening, and neither of us want to be here.
That's correct.
So let's get this over with.
I take it you spoke with Mac.
Yep, that's who was assigned to me first.
You sure you don't want to sit? You can smoke in here if you want. I'm sure no one will be coming to check on us.
No, that's all right. How did you end up at this collapsing warehouse? How did that work out?
Believe me, I've been asking myself the same question. Loyalty is an interesting thing, isn't it?
Loyalty. You don't really believe in that among your type and the ones above you?
I don't tend to generalize. It seems you do, though.
Yeah. Been observing for a while.
But yet you don't really have a lot, otherwise you wouldn't be talking to us.
Oh, I mean, we have our ways to get information. We have plenty. We're just trying to get some more.
Yeah.
You know about that. Amassing knowledge, information. I guess I was just kind of surprised about the warehouse because you're usually in those nice, comfy 4 walls in the classroom. You're at the college, but what exactly is your position at the school?
I'm a professor, art history primarily, but I've shifted around over the years. I have a small collection of degrees.
Right. Professor, and that's adjunct, tenured? You working towards tenure or
tenured?
Good for you. Good for you.
Means I'm difficult to fire, even if I say encounter legal entanglements.
Yeah, at least out of all of this, your job will be safe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can't say the same for your friends or the other people around you, though.
I thought you said that my kind didn't have loyalties. Why would that bother me?
I don't know. I just assumed you were
dangerous.
In some way associated with this ragtag crew. They either had you on the hook for something or...
Had me on the hook for something?
Yeah, like, I don't know, you made some kind of deal. They were giving you something in return for your help because most of them don't know shit about blanks, but you've got some experience.
Appealing to my ego. Now you're heading in the right direction. You'll get there eventually.
I always get there, though. That's the thing.
Do you? I get the feeling like you didn't with Mac. Otherwise, you'd be in a better mood.
I mean, let's be real. He's a dyed-in-the-wool moron.
No, he's not. You just couldn't crack him. That's unfortunate. Doesn't give me a lot of hope for this interaction either.
I'm not here to be a beacon of any kind of hope for you or anyone like you. Just...
Right. So why are you here, Agent Navarro?
It's my job. It's not only my job, but it's my personal passion. It's my duty, if you will, to seek out these unnatural presences and put an end to them.
And I imagine you've been very effective at it.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah, because you never know with you and yours. How your Domador, how does he treat you? Is he like, does he give you money? He gives you books? Like what? It's been so long. What can he possibly offer you now other than I don't know. I still don't really understand what you get out of it, I guess.
You don't seem to have a strong grasp of what we're all about in general. It's a concern of mine that honestly, at the end of the day, you are reaching for small fish and you haven't really thought out the implications of putting all four of us together inside of this precinct and questioning us separately. You see, one thing I do understand is how influence works. And I understand how much it would cost you and your organization to disappear 4 people from due process without any kind of red tape, litigation, wondering where they went, especially if, for example, one of those people had safeguards in place to protect them in case something exactly like this were to happen. And I don't think you thought that through when you sent the SWAT team in. In fact, I think it's you who are on the back foot here, so I'm not overly concerned.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I just tune out when you Renfields are talking. So,
You didn't for Mac, though. That's interesting. I can tell because of the blueberry cloud that followed you in.
I mean, we've all got our vices, right? I can't escape everything. And it wouldn't cost as much as you might think. How many years has it been, Nathaniel? In servitude?
I don't know. I mean, there's that whole old adage, we're all born into it.
So you've never gotten tired of this at all. You're just content to spin in your hamster wheel for some asshole, some...
I'll answer that question if you will.
I may answer here at my job to, the higher ups, the bureaucracy involved in the government and the agencies. Sure, of course. I mean, it's all a pyramid, right? And obviously I'm not at the top, but outside of all of this, I answer to a higher power.
I'm sure you do. Or at least I'm sure you think you do.
I very much do. And I've never had to question it.
No, you probably haven't because you've had enough dogma rammed down your throat that you think you know how this works. But you don't. Just like me, you're a forgotten cog in the chain. And maybe if you want, I could offer you some help to get out of your situation. Escape from the binds of bureaucracy that you find yourself completely wrapped up in, beyond your control, beyond your influence.
And you hear her once again, like she's like whispering, like mouthing something in a different language. She has her hand back in her pocket. You could see her hand moving through the pocket a little bit. So when you went over to that house and the students were with you, they didn't come out of the house.
I'm sure you know I wasn't there for that part of it.
Right. I just feel like it might correlate with how there seems to be a pattern of dropouts from some of your classes. Kind of higher than the regular turnover, I think.
I don't know. Students tend to leave classes that hold them to a high standard pretty regularly. And I mean, how do you explain your disappearances?
But you were there at the house. So why were you there?
Is this a dialogue that we're having? Because I feel like I'm asking you questions in return and you're not answering them. If this was an interrogation, it would have the support of authority of some kind. And I have yet to see any authority that usurps mine.
I mean, you know how it is. Figures lurking in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you didn't see them walking down the hallway doesn't mean they ain't there.
Well, then maybe I should be speaking to them and not you.
But the cogs got to do the dirty work, right?
Exactly, which is why I'll take my chance with legal process. But it was very nice talking to you, Miss Navarro.
Listen, I can get you out of all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, out of you think by like amassing all this knowledge and serving for years and years and decades, like what are you actually working towards? You are a servant. You're a flunky. You have no usefulness besides exactly what you can provide to a monster.
I'm trying to figure out if you're throwing that as a pejorative ironically, or if you're really just not that self-aware. Which one is it? Because I am genuinely intrigued. You're speaking about my bonds of servitude as though you're not wearing the same manacles.
But I'm not beholden by the blood of an unholy creature. That's where we're different.
Oh, yes. I'm operating against my will because I'm beholden to the blood of an unholy monster. You're here because you genuinely have a passion for killing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I guess we know who the monster in the room is.
Again, I answered to a much higher authority, and it doesn't really matter what kind of pithy sayings you have for me or your armchair psychoanalysis. You can do that all you want. You don't think I've been shrink wrapped a million times by this department? You think you're the first person to suggest these things to me?
And yes, I am going to keep hammering that because it's clearly something that you, well, can't deal with. And I really think you should analyze your position and take a step back and really ask yourself if you're ready for this, because this line of work could get you killed.
Oh, I hope it does.
Well, that's the one generalization I can say about your kind, is that you're all inestimably suicidal. So I think you should let us go, but I know you won't because you're suicidal. So go ahead and pull that trigger.
You know what? If you want to talk to a higher authority, I can arrange that. We'll get you someone higher up the chain. And
yes, let's increase the visibility. Let's make this lawsuit nice and big. Let's make sure we get this as vocal as possible. Or you could just stop chasing small fish and wasting our time. Yours and mine. I don't have any issue with you besides the fact that you stuffed me in a room and made me take a nurse nap in an uncomfortable chair for 14 hours. We can just go our separate ways. I know my people aren't going to crack. Yours might. You know why? Because you're all a little unhinged. I can see it in your eyes, Miss Navarro.
The thing is, the little fish leads you to the big predator fish, the ones that I really want to mount above my mantle.
Right.
You
and I'm
stay
not going to
here.
give you that satisfaction.
You stay here, and I'll get you someone higher up on the chain. I'll do that for you.
I'm not worth their time. Let's be real. You call them with that, they're going to say, why am I getting on
You
a train?
take care, Mr. Weston. And she leaves the room and slams the door.
During this, Teddy.
Yes.
The door is open for you. And there's a man sitting at the table. He was your final appointment 2 days ago. Miss Abbott, please.
Why am I not surprised to find you here?
I wasn't particularly subtle about it.
Not at all. And I'll take the seat.
And he just flips through this folder saying, though you did actually have an appointment with the Forestry Service, he got his flight rerouted. Unfortunately, he'll probably be over to you on Monday, if you're there on Monday.
I'll be there on Monday.
Situation depending. Speaking of situations, could you describe the situation that led you and your friends to the warehouse that we found you in?
No, thank you. I'd like a lawyer.
You don't get one. Could you please describe the situation?
Well, this is going to be a very difficult conversation for you. See, I've requested a lawyer, and you're legally required to cease and desist your questioning of me until I've had legal counsel.
Miss Abbott, he just closes the folder. How about we cut the shit? Because I think you know who I am. You know why I was in your office. And you know that I am not legally required to do anything that you want.
Then why did you bring us to a precinct and have us photographed and thumbprinted? Now we're everywhere.
Not my call, funny enough.
What a terrible call it was, though.
It really was. Frankly, if I had my way, you would have been shipped off with the other two that we got, but can't get them all. As I said, you know who I am. You have some idea. And I know who you are. So, how about we cut to the chase?
What do you want?
I want to make you the same offer that was made to your friends. That was actually pretty well received, I would say. I am going to be a massive hassle on your end, but I do not have to be. And all I require in return is information to the questions that I ask.
And what do I get out of it?
For starters, you don't have to see me ever again. Beyond that, we can talk, but it depends on how cooperative you want to be. As I've told your friends, any information that you want to share will be valued and favorable towards us turning a blind eye to you.
I don't work in vagaries.
Okay, then let's be a bit more concrete. And he opens the folder again. 2 days ago, you and your friends were observed, rather coincidentally, I might add, speaking in a local restaurant using key phrases that we have flagged in our system, including Domitor, Ghoul, and Salubri. Following that, you and I had our meeting. And then we have the transcript of the rest of the evening, your conversation with Miss York and some other associates for the remaining hours that you were there. And he just sort of like gently holds up a piece of paper and it's just like bullet point lines, like time stamped. Following that, the next day, you and your friends went to the house of an unidentified individual, left with her to local hospital, where you interfered with security system. Very good job erasing the previous day. For future reference, you should probably erase the current day as well. You then left to another undisclosed location, another house, and finally wound up at the warehouse, trespassing into private property, which is the least of your concerns right now, where who knows what happened, but it certainly alerted law enforcement to your presence with all of the collapsing debris. As I said,
Yes, it was a very unsafe location. Someone should sue them.
I mean, the fence is up for a reason, Miss Abbott. What
I don't
business did you
recall
have
seeing
there?
a fence.
No,
In
it's-
fact, when we arrived, I seem to recall the fence had been crashed in by someone.
That's interesting because it was still functional when the police got there. Though a section of the fence was missing, just about the size of a person. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, of course.
No, but they should consider hiring some security.
They should. My point being, Miss Abbott, we have all of this information. And more. But we would like some specifics. In return, I get out of your hair and whatever else we'd like to negotiate here at this table. You are in a unique position compared to your friends. One that I
Why?
think
What position are they in?
not employed by a suspected blank body. One that we have record of, at least.
What information are you looking for? And then we'll see what it's worth.
We are looking for a range of things. It could be names of associates of Charlotte York that you can confirm are of similar life circumstance, we'll call it, to her. Giving them up would be very useful, and it can range all the way up to allowing us to intercept Miss York.
I couldn't even give you that if I wanted to, and I do not want to.
I mean, you do control her schedule, Miss Abbott.
I have access to her schedule. Those are very different things, which you would know if your files were in order. It's Carlotta York, not Charlotte York. But I understand mixing up names. I seem to recall having trouble remembering yours the first time as well.
Oh, that's because I gave a fake one.
Clever.
And he just makes a note on the paper, like just a strike through and a name rewritten.
My, you really have things all tidy.
Hmm.
Don't even know first names.
Oh, I'm not local. All I know is the assignments that are set before me. And if somebody in administration has a typo, then trickles down. You know about the trickle down, of course.
I understand the fall of information, yes.
The lower down on the totem pole you are, the more unpleasantries and shit you catch.
We're not friends, Agent. We're not going to understand each other over the issues of our job. What you may do is continue to list the things you want from me, and I will in turn tell you what you're going to give me for them. Or you can return me to the cell, and I will get in touch with a lawyer. Those are your options.
They're really not, Miss Abbott. You see, you're You're confusing your second option with the option of us bringing you to the location where we took the other two people that were not in the holding cell with you. Because
And
you're
where's
right.
that?
Oh, no. That's someplace you get to see personally if you go. And that is a very high possibility option because you're right. We're not friends and we're not going to be friends because you've sold your soul twice, once to corporate America and the second to unclean undead.
I didn't realize we were talking about fantasies and fables like souls and God. Now I'm very bored.
You know.
Talk facts, talk money. I'm not interested in your judgments.
We suspect the vampiric connection of Miss Carlotta York. We know that others are using her foundation to cycle money through so that it's a bit harder to trace over the many years that they are in existence. At minimum, we would like the names of those that you can confirm. At most, we would like confirmation on Carlotta York. We know that you know. We know that you know this is not fantasy. We know that you're wasting my time by pretending that it is and making yourself out to be much less intelligent than you are. And we know that this is not a usual offer. Some of your friends have already decided to take me up on my offer. They will benefit from this.
Which ones?
No. No, because if you decide to decline my offer, then you turn on them, and that will not benefit me. No.
I mean, it could.
No. You will all have the privilege of privacy should you decide to take this offer. And
I'm not
yes.
sure you have the authority to meet my demands.
Oh, I do. We have a rather sizable disposable account. It's amazing what you can accrue the more centuries-old people die and leave their things behind. That money does have to go
I
somewhere.
know that. Well then. $250,000 per name. If you want proof of it, double it. And if you want proof of Carlotta, you have to give me 25 minutes alone with an untapped telephone to make all the calls I wish, which will not include anyone involved with the Carlotta Foundation.
The last one, no, but the other ones seem much more reasonable.
I will be ensuring my future before I let you set my present on fire.
I can guarantee that you will not be connected.
No, but I do need another job lined up before I let you bring this foundation down. I've never had a stretch of unemployment on my resume, and I won't be starting for you.
Depending on the amount of information that you know, there could be a future in that. A profitable future.
With you. For your company? Corporation? Agency?
Agency. It's on the table.
Well, that I would need to see a contract for, but we might be able to make this work.
Certainly doable. Are you able to provide any starting name that we can look into and confirm? Throwing money at you for names that may mean absolutely nothing is a bit careless on our part.
Yes, I can provide you with one name, so that we can lay some trust down here.
Please.
And I'm going to give him the name of one of Carlotta's minor associates, someone that we, just sort of keep the accounts for. Someone that it's not going to end her business if this comes to light.
Okay, are you giving him an actual kindred, or are you just giving him a name?
I'm just giving him a name. It's not a kindred name. He has not asked me for kindred. He's talked about embezzlement and fraud, and I can prove all of that.
He has also said vampires.
Yeah, but he rolled them all into one. He did not specify. I deal in facts, Agent.
That's right. So the moment when you give a name, he reaches into a briefcase that is beneath the chair, and he pulls out. It's a tablet, but it's much thicker than a tablet. Punches the name in, runs it. That name isn't in our database.
Oh, then you'll need to do more research.
No, Miss Abbott, this is a rather extensive database. We've had trouble connecting the names to some of where they are now, but if somebody is as high up in the world that you were in under this name, it'll be a bit easier. I
don't give information for free.
I think that this name is one that you just pulled out of your ass, bluntly.
Oh no, it's a real person who's very much involved with the Foundation.
And are they a vampire, Miss Abbott?
No, but if you don't know how to connect bank accounts to the people who own those bank accounts, then I'm not sure you're smart enough for this job. Maybe you should get a forensic accountant in here. Oh, wait, that's what I do.
Do you understand, Miss Abbott? That second option that I spoke of earlier involves no money, no job, no nice clothes, no fancy cars, no life that you value. It involves a metal room half the size of this one, where we will let you sit until the blood in your system drains out and you are fully normal again. From what I've seen, it can be extremely painful.
No, I think you misunderstand me. I'm not keeping these things secret out of loyalty. I'm keeping them secret because I'm not afraid of you or anything you can do to me. You want the information? You pay me for it. You don't want the information? Throw all the threats you'd like. I am your best bet out of this group, probably in this whole city. I'm the linchpin you need. But if you're not interested, that is not my issue.
He looks down at his tablet. He makes a few swipes, and then he places your phone in front of you. $500,000. You can confirm if you like.
I pick the phone up and check the account.
As you unlock it, the video that you took of the attempted diablerie is up on the screen. He goes, "Oh, I should have mentioned that part too. Don't worry, we have copies. Please."
Oh, all right. She flicks past it like it's not a thing.
Your account.
Oops, you have my Tinder up. Whatever.
Your account is $500,000 in the black. Now, please, Miss Abbott, a what do they call it? Kindred name. And identifying location information, etc. If you don't mind.
Mr. Mendelsohn.
You'll have to, do you have a first name? Do you want to elaborate? Who is Mr. Mendelsohn?
And I do have information on him because I'm familiar with him. So I will give them the first name and the company location and where I assume he lives, though I will admit to not being as sure of that.
And he's like inputting the information in. And after about a minute, it makes a chiming noise. The tablet does. And you see his eyebrows go up. Thank you for your cooperation, Miss Abbott. If you'd like to continue this arrangement, we can continue this on a regularly occurring basis. You don't have to draw it all out here.
I could see my way to a profitable interaction in future, yes.
I think so too. And he shakes your hand.
And she shakes his.
And he gives you a card. It just has a phone number on it. There is no name. There is no descriptor. It's just a embossed phone number in the middle of the card. You may call or text that number. We would like at minimum once a week. And an exchange can be made.
I can provide you with a once-a-week lead and a biannual certain thing.
Once a week lead and quarterly certain.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I can provide a certain thing quarterly if you want this to be ongoing. But I can provide you with a strong lead quarterly. Most of which will pan out. I just can't make that as a promise.
It is an uncertain business. These are acceptable terms. And
the payment will stay the same?
Unless you have a reason to negotiate a higher pay. But trade for trade.
I can work with that.
Thank you very much, Miss Abbott. And please do stick to the schedule. I would prefer to not find you again.
Yes, I hope to never see you in my office again, Agent.
Preferably you won't, unless we get to that higher level discussion from earlier. Thank you. He stands up and he exits the room, where he runs into Navarro. How'd it go?
Prescott, I'm begging you, this one time, let me put Nathaniel, let me take him to the black slate, put him on the slab, strap him down, starve him, and watch him turn into a little old man.
What's the problem?
Phillips is an idiot. He just talked about nothing. And Weston just tried to psychoanalyze me and my motivations and discredit me, and he wants to talk to someone higher up on the chain.
Okay.
What about you? How did it go?
I have a couple of deals. Go ahead and grab a coffee. I think I'll have a talk with Mr. Weston.
Yeah. Okay, but once you get out of there, think about what I want to do and what I said, okay? Just think about it.
We'll see how it goes. And he takes Weston's file from you.
And she goes wherever the coffee is.
And Nathaniel, you hear the door open, and in comes a man dressed for business with a file, closes the door. He walks very rapidly over to the table, sits down, puts the file folder down. Mr. Weston, I believe you requested to speak to me. My name is Agent Prescott.
Interesting. Had someone higher up the totem pole in the building the whole time and didn't think I was worth it?
We had other stronger leads. Very cooperative, I might add.
Not Mac. It's interesting. I mean, close to the mark of utilizing tactics that the police might, saying that they gave up information in hopes that you'll coerce one out of me. It's a pretty common tactic, a little pedestrian.
You don't have to believe it.
And you estimated them as more likely to flip than me, which is why you sent the junior. She's not very good at her job, just for the record.
She has other strengths, of which I asked her to not participate in today.
So you sent a bruiser to do finesse work. That's not a very smart idea as a superior, if I may say.
We like our agents to be well-rounded, Mr. Weston.
They're not. You should retrain yours.
Let's stop talking about her and start talking about you.
All right.
Why did you want to speak to me?
Well, I had misgivings about the way that Miss Navarro conducted our exit interview.
Go on. Is this an HR complaint?
Would it be heard if it were?
Not particularly.
No, I didn't think so. But I get the sense that you have a little more guile and a little more understanding of what it's like to be up against a wall.
He clasped his hands like in his lap under the table, to say the least.
What's your pressure from your organization? What really gets you by the elbow?
Completion of a mission.
That's the standard that they hold you to? Accomplishment?
It's a standard I hold myself to.
So it's you holding your own leash?
I have a pretty high record. We all hold somebody's leash, Mr. Weston.
And you
Some hold more leashes than others.
Interesting.
I think you probably know all about that.
What makes you say that?
Well, for starters, the number of times that you've been to this one particular house, and he provides the location of your Domitor's house. We already saw you going there once, and with further research, you have a repeated GPS rhythm of going there.
My family home, as I'm sure you will notice if you were to look up the records on it.
And yet not solely occupied by you. As far as we can tell, you don't have a living family.
It's a crime to have roommates, lovers.
Are they both?
Maybe.
Tell us about them.
Them. Interesting. Is that a unwillingness to provide a count or a gender?
I try to stay open-minded.
Or uninformed?
Would you like to tell us about them?
I get the sense baiting you emotionally probably isn't going to work the same way it did with Miss Navarro.
You're welcome to try.
This is a little more stimulating. All right.
I do want to make very clear, though, I have already had a rather productive day. And I'd like to end on a high note. So maybe we don't do the dance quite as long as you're thinking.
Who flipped?
I offer the same confidentiality to anybody that wants to provide information. Any and all information that you want to share will be valued and favorable towards the outcome of this.
Even if that's factored into the cost, we're all capitalists here.
Some more than others.
Okay, well, you just answered my question for me. Thank you.
There's 4 of you.
Yes, and only one of them I would call a capitalist.
I didn't say that that was the one that flipped. I just said one is more of a capitalist. You're welcome to make any assumption that you'd like, though. I'm not going to stop you.
Same deal. What was the deal?
There were 2 different deals. You'll have to specify.
You saw 2 people. Interesting. Well, thank you for eliminating the cost of that particular outcome. I don't need to pay it now. All right. The more lucrative one, then, since you're obviously the kind of person with deep pockets and access to resources.
There's a problem there, and that is that, as I mentioned before, I feel like you have less to offer.
I don't.
I feel like you do, in terms of quantity, and I feel like you have more to lose, if I'm being quite blunt, Mr. Weston.
You might be right on that front. But I have less willingness to continue existing, so less reason to want to help you.
Why do you have less willingness?
I've already done my dance. I've already had the chance to see everybody I ever knew die. I've done the full life. I am incredibly bored, and I'm bored with this interaction already, but I will say less bored than I was with Miss Navarro.
I'm incredibly sorry to bore you, Mr. Weston. Would you like it to be more interesting?
And that's the kind of threat I can really sink my teeth into. I enjoy the way you make threats.
Thank you. Is that a yes?
Sure.
Great. You take 3 superficial damage as your shin suddenly hits a massive impact. You lurch forward on the chair.
Is there a role to have that not affect me? Like to not show it on my face?
Yes, you're going to roll Composure Resolve.
Thank you. It's not a great one. 3 successes with 1 crit.
There is the obvious, you physically lurched forward, and there is a brief moment of surprise, but you're not screaming, you're not twisted up in agony. You manage to hold it together. But as you look down, there is a hole through your calf. And the agent in front of you sits completely stone-faced. I can make this as interesting as you'd like, Mr. Weston. I do have full authority.
By what right do you think you have authority to bully us?
By the fact that you work for unholy undead that prey on the living and use them as food.
Can I ask you a question?
I would choose it wisely, but yes.
Our kind has been around for longer than you have, a lot longer than you have.
Not your kind.
Well, the kind that you hunt has been around since the dawn of civilization. What makes you think we don't work for the same people?
I guess we'll find out when we run out of ones to hunt.
You won't.
To be seen. Mr. Weston, if you'd like to cooperate, I would like access to your family home, as I have staggering reason to believe there's a person of interest there. In exchange, I will not use my contacts at the college to firing you is difficult. We'll call it disgrace. To not do something as mundane as foreclose on the home due to misfiled paperwork, to not bar you from academic journals, and of course to not continue putting holes in your body. That one's free.
It was something of a tactical misstep to allow us to be apprehended by law enforcement.
Not my call, but I will say, considering where you would have wound up if you hadn't been, gosh, you wouldn't have been talking to me, and I'm one of the nicer ones.
I believe that. See, I'm not interested in exchange, a capitalist exchange specifically. I'm more interested in collaboration.
Go on.
Long term.
Continue to explain.
Well, I mean, the way that I'm seeing it, you don't really care who you go after as long as you're going after somebody. You need to show results on a ledger for your superiors.
Unless a name in particular is given, we don't discriminate.
You don't. So if I'm to assist, I want it a long way away from me and mine. And the way I see it, you're a powerful weapon to wield. And I'm sure I'm not the only person affiliated with the Kindred who's already had this thought.
Who could you offer up? Verifiably, apart from who we suspect is in your home.
You know how to track me down. You know where I live, and I'm not leaving. Before I even have this conversation with you, everybody in my group gets to go home. We'll have this conversation via the phone, and you can kick in the front door if I'm not true to my word.
I don't believe you have somebody worth that, considering what was already been offered to me.
You're going to squander an opportunity over small fish? We're not worth your time.
I think that you have a way with words, Mr. Westcott. I think that you value that. You pride yourself on that. You think much higher of it than it actually does for you. And you want to continue to do that because the longer you do that, the longer you don't have to comply. But please do understand, it doesn't run out after 48 hours. It runs out when I say it runs out. And it runs out where I say it runs out.
A decent riposte. But I will say that we're not worth the time you would put in to try to make us disappear. None of us are. Not a single one of us.
You don't have to disappear if you provide information on those that can and should.
And I think we can do that. Have a look at what happened when we were arrested. I was the first one to draw my gun and place it on the ground and comply with the officers. That's what I do. You're right. I have a way with words, but I'm also the kind of person who complies with authority, and I respect power. You're obviously somebody with power. And somebody who it would be pointless to try to pack up my things and run from, as established by this. Let us go home, and I will strongly consider it. And if I decide that it's a no, then, like I said, you can come and kick in the front door.
What's to stop me from doing it either way, then, if we're not settling this here?
Then I suppose if that's the case, and you're not interested in what I might have to offer, then you can go ahead and do what you're going to do. Really, at the end of the day, you decide whether or not what I have to say has worth or not. And you're not in any more of a power position with us in a cell or not. I'm ensuring the safety of my people is a sign of goodwill. I will deal, but not from a cell.
Your friends were a bit more willing.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
Okay, Teddy is a capitalist. I'm not surprised. What are the motivations of the other one?
They understand that do you know what I like least about this job,
What's
Mr.
that?
Weston? The smell.
The smell.
Your kind and those above you have an air about them that folks like myself have become attuned and accustomed to. It's hard to describe, but it's as if you know that somewhere, something is rotten, and you can't quite find it. Yours is softer than the others.
I imagine that is an intentional programming piece by whoever created you, that it's required in order for you not to be able to reasonably interact and deal. Because I think if you were able to be more than killers, you could have a place on this stage.
Not everybody is as attuned as I am, Mr. Weston. But you asked the motivation, and it was to finally wash off the smell.
I'd like to sleep on it in my bed. But I am, my word on it, strongly considering it.
I have no reason to take your word, Mr. Weston.
Yes, you do. If you know who I am, then yes, you do. And if you don't know who I am, then us having this conversation is worthless anyway.
If you know who we are, you know that we don't have to take your word. We would just like this to be done cleaner. We've already made a mess as it is, and he looks down through the table where your leg would be.
I suppose you have made a mess, haven't you?
To say the least. And suddenly there's a banging at the door as one of the officers comes in. He goes, sorry, and Prescott, like you see this flicker of just, it's there for a second, but it is unbridled fury before it goes back to a mask. What? You need to bring him and come. He's like, looks at you. He stands up and he walks out and lets the officer walk you. As you walk down the hall, you see that Teddy, Mac, and Cersei have been gathered. And the officer brings you over to them as Prescott looks over all four of you and then pushes through the door, giving you a brief moment to sort yourself. And in very short order, you hear a raised voice from the other side of the door. Teddy, you don't even need to roll to recognize it, because the door goes flying open. And through the door, with a small attaché of people in suits who you assume to be lawyers, is Carlotta York, with Agents Navarro and Prescott short behind. And Carlotta York pinching her brow, and she goes, I'm going to give this entire precinct the most awful field day of legal hurdles to jump. If this woman and her friends are here a second longer, and she's glaring at Prescott and Navarro.
Nathaniel leans over to Teddy. Your boss is quite possibly the most attractive person I've ever seen.
Tell me about it.
And she is doing this not just surrounded by the men in suits, but loud enough that... Actually, go ahead and make wits awareness, all four of you. Five, four. Mac and Cersei?
What happens when I get 2 10s?
It doubles.
Oh, okay.
So you have 4 now.
Yes, if you only had 2 10s, you have 4 critical and 5. Yeah, all four of you are able to notice this. All four of you are able to notice this immediately. Loud enough that every officer that is within earshot in this precinct is looking over. Is drawn the attention of we'll call them regular human police, not just the 2 agents. She looks at Navarro and Prescott. We're already past 1 second longer.
You know, you're not the only one with money, right?
It's not a matter of money. It's a matter of how much of a nightmare I can make this. And I will. You have no cause. You have not charged them yet. And trust me, I understand the 48-hour rule. Everybody that's watched a cop show knows the 48-hour rule. But we know that you're not going to charge them with anything, because if you had anything at all, you would have already. And I noticed that there was no offer of any sort of a bailout either. So we're going to take our people. Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I do actually have a fucking problem with it.
And Prescott puts a hand on Navarro's arm and goes,
Nathaniel puts his hand up on his shoulder and crosses into their eye line and goes,
it's fine. And he looks over to the 4 of you. Eyes dancing across you on this. Thank you very much for your cooperation. We will be in touch if more comes to light. And Carlotta York doesn't even respond. She just snaps her fingers and walks through the door. With the men in suits, half of them follow, half of them gesture for the 4 of you to follow. And Agent Navarro and Prescott stand and watch.
Mac walks by Navarro and just goes, you know you done fucked up, right?
it was blueberries.
And just keeps walking.
Fucking blank bitch.
The door closes and he puts a hand on her shoulder. We got enough. It's not a total wash.
I just want to go back out in the regular field. I'm good at the watching them disappear, kicking them into the sun. That's what I like. That's what I want to go back to.
It's a different world, Navarro. But I suppose you could hope for a repeat of 20 years ago. Then maybe we can actually throw you into the mix of it. And Prescott turns and walks away. Outside of the precinct, Carlotta York spins on her heel and faces the 4 of you with her legal team coming close to her. And she addresses only Teddy, not the rest of you. So how do we wind up here?
It's a long story. We got some bad information and decided to chase it down.
You don't work for people outside of our schedule.
I understand, Miss York.
We'll chalk it up to a learning curve. Please don't make me do this again. It's distracting.
I understand.
And without acknowledging the other three of you, she gets into a very expensive car that does not seem to have any sort of ornamentation denoting what kind of car it is. With the other three getting in with her, and drives away, leaving the four of you to converse on the sidewalk of the precinct, or wherever you may decide to walk.
When you find it convenient, Teddy, please inform Miss York that I am prepared to render a service pro bono as thanks for her assistance.
I will.
I think I don't want to break up with Chana. I think this life is a little too much for me, and I think I'm gonna just go back to, collecting books.
She's the reason.
And disappearing entirely.
The withdrawals are going to be hard, harder than anything you've ever done.
So you can't just disappear. It's only been 4 years from what I've heard. Like, if I run now, I might be okay, right?
You'll come back. Trust me. You will.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing you just walk away from.
Do these people really haunt vampires?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
The one Navarro, she smacked me really hard. Now, I shook that shit off like a real G, but that was harder than I expected from a normie.
Means you got under her skin. It's a compliment.
I know.
Could Teddy, Mac, and Cersei make a wits awareness roll for me?
Probably at reduced, because I actually look down at my leg when he says the smack thing.
It's a lower
I'm assuming
difficulty.
That's what it is.
It's a lower difficulty.
Okay.
4.
4?
1.
1?
3.
3. Teddy, you smell it. Mac, you see it. Cersei, you see Mac see it. The scent of blood, and it's staining the leg of one Nathaniel Weston.
Oh my god, what did they do to you?
Shit, Nate. Damn.
Did you get shot?
No. I just didn't crack. And I looked Teddy in the eyes.
I mean, they cracked something.
They did.
And Mac, not thinking really straightly, just rips off a sleeve and then starts tying it around Nate.
Go ahead and make
What
me
are
an
you
intelligence
doing?
medicine roll.
You making a tourniquet?
And Nathaniel is kind of looking down at Mac like a beloved small animal.
4
There's
successes.
just kind of a weird grin on his face that you've never seen before. He's just like, "Aw."
You make a very solid, bandage tourniquet combination out of one sleeve.
Wow.
Gotta staunch the blood, because that's kind of fucked.
Thank you.
I mean, you helped
Good.
me, even though you kind of didn't help me, but you helped me, so it's cool, I guess.
That's the kind of help you're going to get from our kind. Going forward.
What exactly is our kind? Because we're in between, right?
Let's walk. And Nathaniel takes out a small little amulet and pops it in his mouth, and the limp starts to reduce as they walk.
thing. I just. Did someone snitch?
A weighted look over at Teddy and Cersei.
Teddy's also looking around, waiting to see if anyone admits that they cracked.
Cersei doesn't say anything, just also observes. Face is very blank, as innocent as she usually looks.
All right,
Honestly, this time it wasn't me. I told Navarro that I like to play video games, and I made some memes references.
It was
and
beautiful. I got her after you, and she was already unhinged. It was could not have teed it up better.
And she did that?
I thought she was gonna kill me. Honestly, I did. I thought it was just gonna be it for me, and this was it. And my whole vampire adventuring life that I thought I might have was just gonna be gone, and Chana was gonna miss me forever.
The first thing we're gonna do is train you to not say those sorts of things in public, because it is definitely why we are where we are.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, I told them that I was prepared to give them whatever they wanted in exchange for everyone's release, in hopes that it would buy us some time to get tactical advantage back. But I didn't tell them anything. Your turn.
My turn?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
I know you didn't tell her anything.
I know it was just a matter of buying time until Miss York showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Or more accurately, getting paid for my time until Miss York showed up.
Smart.
You got paid by the hour for this?
Oh, she got paid a lot more than that. And just
I don't
a knowing
do
look in the eye.
hourly.
They also said some interesting things about you, Cersei.
Yeah, I think you got the easy one before I did. How'd he go for you?
As they all go, I've never been interrogated before. And clearly these aren't normal measures. I have people I care about.
I mean, isn't that like a normal thing to like have people you care about? I have people I care about. My parents.
It's rare as time goes on.
And more foolish.
Undeniably true.
Why is it foolish to care about people?
Because they use it to hurt you. Everybody does.
That's
Yeah,
just
but doesn't that happen when you're like regular human too? Like, this is why
I didn't
you do
have
it.
friends when I was human either.
That explains so much, honestly. So much. I'm
I don't
sorry.
understand what you mean by that. I'm a pleasant person, you know.
Uh-huh.
So next steps. We need to go to the court. We need to let them know what transpired here and tell them to be ready.
Oh, you're talking about that gathering of the people's thing.
Yes, you'll get there.
How do we
I don't
know?
think I'm allowed there.
How do we
know that they would help us? I mean,
because it's in their best interest. And if you want to get something from them, you just need to make sure that it's in their best interest. Their best interest is to circle up and protect themselves, and they'll subject us to a series of, investigations to make sure that we're on the level and that we didn't sell anybody out. And if we didn't, then we have nothing to worry about.
Yes, that's how they'll interpret what happened here today. We all got arrested by those people, and they let us go. scot-free for no reason whatsoever. The court is a very understanding place that loves to believe stories.
They'll find out. They'll know.
I don't think they'll bother to find out. They're going to see 4 idiot ghouls who managed to get themselves arrested.
Nope, they won't see me.
Fine, they'll see 3 idiot ghouls and 1 runaway. Even better. Our best bet is to keep this under our hats with our particular bosses.
That will result in all of our particular bosses dead.
Yeah, I think there's a reason that Chana, like, pieced the fuck out.
Yes.
I do not recommend we take this to the court. Your bosses may choose to, and that's not something we have any control of. But if this is a story we try to spin, it's going to become very clear very quickly exactly where we stand on this totem pole. No matter how much we don't like to admit that.
I agree. We are nothing compared to them. No matter how long you've been in servitude, we're still human.
I mean, personally, I feel pretty awesome, but, like, if you say so.
You're in the most danger of all of us. Let's be honest here. You've now got enemies at every gate available to you.
Okay, so interesting thing about that. Are you my enemy?
Yes.
Because I have real questions about everything that shook out.
We are competitors. Understand that if
competitors and enemies are 2 different words.
No, they're not. We are friends until we're not, and then we're enemies.
Right up until our bosses decide we need to go a different route.
I'm going to say the same thing that I said to the Second Inquisition. We need to sleep on it.
Wait, that's not the CIA?
No. Let's meet at Applebee's tomorrow. We're going to go through this in depth. We'll give you the rundown. I need to get some rest.
I don't know if drinks are a good idea going forward.
I mean, I could use the opportunity, like, right now. I want to JD and Turk this up.
I don't know what that means, and I don't care to.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you need to be more cultured.
Nope,
Give some
not
serious,
interested.
Give some serious thought to where you want to be when this eventually makes it to the court, Teddy.
And what about
We
you,
can help
Cersei?
each
Like,
other.
how did that all shake out for you? Did they hit you? That'd be pretty fucking mean.
I mean, he was. He, like I said, threatened those I love.
And who do you love? Exactly. Not locals.
Family, my parents, my best friends. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have humans in my life that I do care about.
Yeah, they talked about, like, all of my friends, like the whole nerd herd.
Exactly. So they have information on us. They have power over us. In Applebee's and talking about a plan isn't a good
Nerds
idea.
know how to protect themselves. I'm just saying, like, you'd be surprised how hard Legos go against bullets.
It's my own fault for thinking this project could work. I'm sorry to have wasted your time. I only hope when this is presented to the court, whether by one of us or by the rumor mill, because it already will have gotten there, that your decisions look favorably on you. I'll be at Applebee's tomorrow if you reconsider. And Nathaniel
See you there, buddy.
turns around. there's kind of like he turns around kind of dramatically and then checks his step a bit and just sort of at Mac carries on.
Well, for what it's worth, I almost sort of enjoyed myself sometimes. I won't be at Applebee's tomorrow. And Teddy's gonna turn around and walk away.
Mac, I don't know what you want to do anymore with this. But if you do care about your friends and family, it might be best to run.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
I know
probably.
Nathaniel says it's hard, and I'm sure it is, but...
Hey, Cersei, can you tell me something really quick? I just have to know. Were you planning on robbing Shauna?
On
You can be honest with me. Yeah.
Robbing? No. She has a very interesting library that I would have loved to peruse, but robbing is a little excessive. I'm pretty sure she could tear me in half. I saw her nearly do that.
That's probably true, but desperate people do desperate things.
You're not wrong.
Are you planning on running?
I honestly don't know at this point.
That means you probably should run.
Yeah, maybe. Certainly have a lot to consider. Whatever happens with the courts and all of that, I do hope you're okay in the end.
Courts, none of my business, as long as they don't, from my understanding, the word is blood hunt. I really don't want that. So as long as we can avoid that, I'm good. Probably. Maybe.
I hope so.
But I'm probably not going to stay in the city anymore now. We're going to talk with Nathaniel and make sure I have a proper exit strategy, because I need to think this all the way through. And me trying to do that by myself is probably a really terrible idea.
I believe in you guys. He's resourceful.
Cool. Well, good luck, I think. I hope you don't die. And then, see you on the flip side. Maybe after I'm, not completely, in love by my choice or not my choice. I'm not sure exactly which one. I'll probably cry a little bit before this is all over. We can maybe, chat. I'll send you a text or something if you don't go completely off the grid, which I understand that's cool, too.
Bye, Mac.
Sweet.
Real quick. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Was Mac going to say anything else?
No, I was just going to say my Uber's going to be here in 2 minutes.
So Cersei says bye. And actually walks in Nathaniel's direction. And I think this will be just a nice place to end. Hey, Nathaniel.
He turns.
I might need some help with something.
Follow me.
The role of the ghoul is a liminal one, existing on the outskirts of the vampire's world and never truly acknowledged for their contributions. That is, until they are absolutely critical. These unappreciated understudies of kindred society, dependent on the power of the blood, may not have unwieldy power or an eternity of life, but do not underestimate them. In many cases, they are the fulcrum on which the structure balances. And when more than one of them works together, who knows which way the scale can tip. That concludes Ghoul's Night. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of my players for providing an amazing story of the low rung on the ladder in kindred society. We're going to go around and we're going to have our folks tell you who they are and where you can find them. We're going to start with our special guest, Agent Navarro.
Hi, my name is Sara. I played Agent Navarro. We were talking about whether we were going to do good cop and bad cop, but it turned out to be good cop, bad at her job cop. New twist on the trope.
Cop, insane cop.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You can find me on Twitter at MC Diabetes. I'm a creative partner here at Martlet Games. We've got a lot of stuff in production, so please do follow Martlet Games. Check out the Patreon, all of that. You can see me. I'd really like if you came out this weekend to the Vancouver by Night channel, where we will finally see if my Tremere vampire Jude's declaration of praxis over Vancouver is successful. So please come out and see that. That's Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then the next day on Vancouver by Night, I'm also on D&D Phandalin by Night. That is at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, just follow me on social media, see what I'm doing. Going to be back in the storyteller seat soon, so look out for that. And thank you so much for having me. Love this table, Zach. It was such a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Next, we'll move over to Mac J. Phillips.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince. I played Mac J. Phillips. I'm also known as Dipples and Dice around the internet, and you can also find me in that game with Sara on Vancouver by Night this coming Saturday. Because if Sara becomes Prince, it means Ja becomes Seneschal. So Ja's not entirely excited by this whole ordeal, but duty calls, like jury duty for me today. Anyway, you can also catch me on Rolling D's 20s immediately following that game on Vancouver by Night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, where I play, where I'm the storyteller for Vampire the Masquerade Philly by Night, where we have time traveling, dimension jumping coterie there, who are getting themselves in some very interesting things with thin blood cults. Yeah, that's a whole thing. So you can find out more about what happens with that this coming Saturday. And then on Sunday, the premiere of my new D&D campaign at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I am running Wild Beyond the Witchlight with a wonderful cast of folks at 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be the first episode, and they're going to be entering the Witchlight Carnival. And I have a lot of dark and terrifying things at a carnival that is definitely not in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight book, but I am taking some creative liberties. So if you want to see Fae and creepiness, come see me at 11 a.m. That's all I got. Check my Twitter for everything else. There's a bunch.
Now we'll move over to Theodora, more commonly known as Teddy Abbott.
Hi, I'm Lex. I was Theodora Teddy Abbott, the loneliest of the ghouls by the end of the game. Sad. Just fine with it. You can find me on Twitch on Saturday as well, with Adjacent by Night on the Level Up TTV channel. You'll also be seeing me soon-ish on the Martlet channel running my Sabbat Chronicle, a bit of ultraviolence. I will also be all over the place NPCing and dropping in and just generally making a big nuisance of myself. And of course, you can follow me online on Instagram, Twitch, OnlyFans, all that stuff as a redhead vixen. And that is it for me.
Next, we'll move to Nathaniel Weston.
Hi, I'm Jay. You can find me on Instagram at Sounds of 604. You can also find me on Vancouver by Night, playing Skin Deep, a horror series that I was in with Sarah and run by the lovely Lex. I just want to say thank you to Sarah for coming along and rolling with it like we always do. That was a lot of fun just getting to spar with you. To Zach for running this wonderful fun game, and to the players in this group. You all really brought something different to the table that made a really fun mix. I had a really good time. So thank you all so much. It was a lot of fun.
And lastly, Cersei Williams.
Hello, my name is Ty. I wanted to start off thanking everybody here, our wonderful special guest this episode, Sarah, and last episode, and to all of the players, and especially the producer and Zach, for bringing me on with this awesome crew and awesome story. It was so much fun. I had a lot of fun. I am your resident Sabat. I've never played a Camarilla Kindred before, so I was promised next time if I'm brought back by anything Zach does, I gotta get to do a Camarilla.
Yeah.
Yes. But you can find me at all socials at Hey Tyler Gray, and you can also see me in a lot over at the TTRP Theater's Twitch channel. We're doing a werewolf game over there that will be next Friday. I'm also in a 40K game, and Star Trek, various fun games, and some upcoming games.
And I am your storyteller, Zachary Vaudo. That is my Twitter handle, and links are going to be over there. Thank you all for being part of this. I wanted to tell a story about ghouls, in particular with each episode showcasing not only their jobs, but the amount of power that they actually have in every given situation. In each episode, all of you could have turned things in terrible directions. And I say that both positively and negatively. And that's the power of the little guy. You should never underestimate the guy at the bottom of the ladder. They hold more power than you think. I will be on Adjacent by Night with Lex on Saturdays. I will be in her Sabat game as well. ATL by Night will be back starting in March on Tuesdays. And I will be appearing in various games on the Bard's Playhouse, of which I'm running a D&D game there on next Saturday. Carrion Comfort Studios, Gehenna Gaming, and of course, Martlet Gaming. Thank you to Martlet Games. Thank you to all of you for watching. And the sun finally sets on this chronicle. Have a good night.